how they never refer to Takeoff's name by his last name or by his government name. So that's an advancement of their career so they can look cool to the youth. But not only that, they're trying to paint this man as a drunk with a gun who's also broke.
Welcome back to the channel once again, fam. If you follow us pretty regularly, you will notice that in a previous video about old DJ Pat and his involvement and his alleged involvement with Takeoff and that whole situation, I referred to him as being either incredibly prone, I guess you could say, to one hell of a coincidence of posts and outcomes of events, or either there's just more to everything and it's exactly as it seems. But to, again, expound on what I mean, a week after allegedly unaliving, if you will, Takeoff, the popular club promoter, I say that for a reason, posted on social media, "I ain't perfect." Okay. On November 8th, DJ Pat, who, if you didn't know, runs the strip club The Flame HTX, also tweeted, "It's difficult for me to feel love because I've been hurt so much." You know, displaying apathy ain't really a good case, or it doesn't really help your case right now, just saying. To go back a little bit farther even, on November 3rd, a day after the shooting, Clark tweeted, "God got me. He been had me." Now, once again, I'm gonna try my best to not take any kind of a side in any of this because, again, you can't draw a finite line from posts on social media unless it was obviously just blatantly incriminating, which I don't necessarily think this is, but is definitely worthy of note. And, well, you crazy if you think investigators don't go through stuff like that. Of course they do. Now, I'm going to say this next part purely because I know there's going to be at least one person that's going to be like, "Well, why are you going and looking at his old posts and stuff?" Well, Pat is suspected of firing the fatal shots, and since that whole thing has emerged, just a week after the shooting, the strip club promoter tweeted, "I ain't perfect, I'm solid though." Now, again, for those that would question why that's relevant, I mean, cuz was arrested and is currently under suspicion of being the shooter. So of course those type things are all going to be looked at with a magnifying glass, and well, no different here, buddy.
The state of Texas versus Patrick Xavier Clark, case number 1797220 in the 232nd Criminal District Court of Harris County, Texas. Defendants ex parte motion to provide funds for expert assistance to the honorable judge of said court comes now the defendant in the above numbered entitled cause and moves this court ex parte pursuant to 5th, 6th, 8th, and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution, Article 1, Sections 3, 3A, 10, 13, and 19 of the Texas Constitution, and Article 26.05A of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure to provide funds for private investigators to assist in the preparation of his defense and for good cause shows the following. 1. The defendant is charged with felony offense of murder. The defendant is indigent. Although counsel has been retained to represent the defendant, his family has exhausted all finances to pay for his attorney, who has agreed to substantially reduce rate. He cannot afford to hire private investigators to assist in the preparation of his defense. 2. The services of private investigators are necessary to enable the defendant to properly investigate his case and to prepare effectively for trial, present evidence on his own behalf, and to cross-examine state witnesses. 3. An adequate and thorough investigation into all of the facts and circumstances related to the defendant's case can be achieved only through the use of qualified and competent private investigators. Counsel has conferred with Jim Willis of Willis & Associates Professional. The state of Texas versus Patrick Xavier Clark, cause number 1797220 in the 232nd Criminal District Court of Harris County, Texas. Order on defendant's ex parte motion to provide funds for expert assistance. Came on to be considered the defendant's ex parte motion to provide funds for expert assistance in the case. Upon consideration of the motion and argument of counsel, it is hereby granted. The court hereby authorizes defense counsel to secure private investigative services for the defendant in order to assist the defendant's counsel in representing the defendant in this case. The court hereby authorizes the payment of reasonable investigative fees inexpensive upon submission of a statement of the fees and expenses incurred not to exceed $5,000, pending further order of this court. It is further ordered that the Harris County Sheriff's Office allow access to the above defendant Patrick Xavier Clark SPN number 02967474, and that the Harris County Sheriff's Office allow the private investigators named herein to enter the Harris County Jail with a laptop computer, printer, and audio recording device when visiting the defendant. Jim Willis, Willis & Associates, PI license C20887.
Authorities say he was seen on camera firing a gun with one hand while holding a wine bottle with the other. Maria Aguilera is outside the courthouse with the latest tonight. Maria.
Marcelino, tomorrow Clark will formally go before a judge in a court appearance with his attorney here over a month since a shooting that...
But court appearance, Clark's attorney asked for his bond to be reduced to a more, quote, reasonable amount. Okay. A hearing is scheduled to take place next Wednesday morning, and the state has also asked to edit the suspect's bond conditions to remove two of the names listed of people he can't have contact with. Interesting. A new motion will likely have to be filed, the judge has said. Ooh, I'm going to butcher this name, but bear with me. Letitia Quinones, that's what I'm going with, one of the attorneys representing Clark, said her client was innocent until proven guilty, as is the American justice system way. But she also said Monday that her client did have a passport and vacation trip planned for Mexico, but canceled those arrangements prior to Friday's arrest. She disputes that her client was trying to flee the country.
Authorities say he was seen on camera firing a gun with one hand while holding a wine bottle with the other.
Patrick Clark is the man Houston police have charged with murder a month after the shooting that led to the death of Kirsnick Ball, known as Takeoff, one of the rappers in the group Migos. In a court document, it shows Clark listed himself as a self-employed DJ and his income as $0, asking for a court-appointed attorney.
Decided that there is probable cause for your arrest in your particular case.
In court Friday night, it was revealed that Clark was allegedly caught on camera firing his weapon while holding a wine bottle in his other hand, and he allegedly had plans to leave the country. Houston police say the 28-year-old Takeoff and Quavo were at a private party with about 40 other people when shots were fired outside 810 Billiards and Bowling Alley. Police said the party ended around 1 a.m., but the group gathered outside for more than an hour after the party ended. HPD Chief Troy Finner said Takeoff was not the intended target that night.
Definitely wrong place at the wrong time.
Police say not one person stuck around to give police a statement about what they saw. Chief Finner is asking those who were there when the shooting happened to come forward.
We know who was on the scene, and we will be contacting and reaching out and finding those individuals. This is a murder.
Clark's bond has been set at $2 million. If Clark makes bond, he faces a list of conditions, including house arrest. I spoke with his attorney over the phone today, who says he has no comment at this time.
Interesting. Police located Clark in the 14,700th block of Sterling Green Boulevard Thursday and placed him under arrest, Houston Police Chief Troy Finner said. Now, once again, so you know this is not something that's just being randomly said, court documents state that DJ Pat had a large sum of money on him and an expedited passport when he was arrested. Investigators said he had plans to flee to Mexico, hence the whole "my client wasn't trying to run" ordeal thing. But prosecutors also said Clark was seen on video pointing and firing a gun in the direction of a group of people. Investigators said a wine bottle that Clark left at the scene was used to pull his fingerprints, and go figure, that's more or less what kind of led to him being arrested, aside from, well, being on video, pointing and shooting a gun. Stupid. His attorneys reiterated that Clark is innocent until proven guilty. Okay. And prosecutors did not speak to reporters after the hearing. Now, I'm sure this is going to tickle somebody's fancy. In a court document filled out by Clark himself, He listed himself as a self-employed DJ with no income and requested a court-appointed attorney. But you was caught with a whole heap of cash. It ain't helping the case, and as far as I'm concerned, it's not seeming to help. But Clark refused to give details on the shooting during his arrest himself, the court records also revealed. I mean, dang, dude. But if Clark does make bond, he has a long list of conditions, including 24-hour house arrest, an electronic monitor, no firearms, illegal drugs or alcohol, and no contact with the victim's family.
I ain't gonna hold you, bro. DJ Pat smart. DJ Pat just got the state to give $5,000 of their own money to fight his case against Takeoff. They said, private investigators, we're going to give you $5,000 to hire private investigators. So he spent all his money basically on getting a lawyer who already had a game plan. Bruh, do y'all realize, all you cats in Texas, do y'all realize y'all now can do this? You can go to Cameron Patrick, or Patrick Cameron, whatever cuz name is, I forget it right now, versus Harris County, and reference this case number to say they granted him a private investigator. You gotta give us one too. Now, I don't know if this happening before, and it probably has, because you wouldn't just pull this out of your head. Bro, this is genius. I know. Hey, bro, you know, rest in peace to Takeoff, pardon me. Rest in peace to Takeoff. But, bruh, this is next level genius, because if he didn't do it, they dang near can prove that. That's the crazy part of all of this. Because one thing I was wondering was like, bruh, why did they just run an interference on each other like, hey, we got over 30 witnesses and all that, and we know who you are. It's best that you come to us. Why didn't they threaten them with jail time? And then the white investigator was basically like, yeah, we got ballistics, we got trajectory, we got recreation, we got a bottle being dropped. And I kept on wondering, why in the world do we know all of this before anything? Because it might be that they ain't really got nothing. There was multiple people with guns in that establishment. Your man DJ Patrick, or DJ Pat 713, ain't no dummy. So this gonna get interesting. I know y'all finna be mad like, Nash, why do you sound excited? Bro, I'm a hood lawyer. I'm not a real lawyer. I'm a hood lawyer. But this right here, this is wild. You just got the state to pay for your private investigators. I ain't never heard of nothing like this. But either way that go, one of the things that's going to be hard for him to prove is, bro, I wasn't drunk, even though technically they had to prove that. But bro, you got the bottle in your hand. We probably got videos of you swig it and everything like that. We can look up the alcohol content. We can make an assessment on your weight and everything like that to say if you drank this much, bro, like 2 glasses is whatever. Typically, what do they say? 0.8 is about 2 to 3 glasses, depending on weight and height and blah, 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 and BMI and all that. I got all that. But if we can show this man holding his bottle upside down and all this stuff, we might be able to turn around and do this as well. Basically, what I'm getting to is it doesn't look good for the prosecutors. Did they jump the gun? Possibly, possibly not. Because the one thing that he has that's holding him back is the simple fact of, hey, man, why in the world did you get an expedited passport? That doesn't make sense. That's bad because of intent. You better have one hell of a story, because it's going to be hard to say that Buddy snitched, that little Cam snitched. And I was wondering, bro, why would his lawyer put it out there that he could snitch? Because by him snitching, he helps out the case for the prosecution, because the prosecution seem like they don't really got nothing. Because I'm wondering, like, bro, what the hell? Like, bro, your lawyer jumped on camera like, yo, Lil Cam ready to write if you got a deal. It all makes sense. But y'all subscribe, turn on this bell to stay notified. Share to keep your people aware. Let me know your thoughts and theories on this one. I'll be curious to see exactly what y'all think. Maybe y'all don't. Maybe y'all got something completely different. But I also...
So yeah, there you have it. There are the latest updates with what's going on with the alleged killer of Takeoff, DJ Pat. At the risk of sounding like a hypocrite, I won't make any comments about how innocent until proven guilty doesn't necessarily apply when you caught on tape pointing and firing a gun and somebody dies. But I won't be a hypocrite, and I will say that I am a fan of innocent until proven guilty because many people who aren't guilty have been found not guilty because of that logic, even though we all know there are more that probably should have been as well, but that's a whole story for another day. Is who liked that particular comment. Now, it goes without saying that you would think that every or anybody, let's just say they're involved, purely for example's sake, you would think that if your family was involved, you wouldn't be that stupid, right? So that's why I'm taking everything with a grain of salt. Hence the reason I say if it is 100% accurate, it's still all ifs. I better not see not a single comment, nor post, nor video, nor anything else somewhere that said Dirt TV said that Prince family is definitely connected. Yeah, and if you think I'm joking, you'd be surprised what some people will do. But anyway, back to it. A quick double checking of the provided information by, I'm just gonna say, Mr. Anonymous, just because that's kind of fun to say. But a quick double checking of that information seems to check out, because as they referred us to, and well, I'll just read it verbatim because it's easier that way. No problem. And it's still there, referring to the comment, of course, or the like rather. That's his, J. Prince Sr., daughter. Go to her page and look at all the pictures with the father and the two brothers. Her name is Ashley Prince. Make sure you screen record that like she gave dude, because you post on YouTube about it and she might take the like back. And, well, I guess that would kind of make sense, assuming, of course, that somebody as big as them would see someone like us. But hey, you never know. But if you're wondering if there's any kind of a vetting process for any of the information that we get in here, usually, well, you guys tend to leave a lot of stuff in the comment section for everybody to see, so there's usually not as much of a point until someone makes a lot of good sense. But to reach out anonymously for, well, not fear, because we highly respect what you've done regardless of the reasons behind it, but to reach out just out of concern for something like this, especially with being a Houston native, I mean, hey, I feel like it's worthy of attention, if nothing else. Now, I will, of course, leave it to you guys and your expertise in some senses to let me know what you guys think specifically, because I would have never guessed. Let's just say that all of this plays out the way that it seems and the way that everybody thinks that it's going to anyway. I would have never have fathomed that a like would be discovered by someone so quickly and then connected to someone who isn't even the specific person in question, i.e. J. Prince, senior or junior for this matter, but a complete tertiary, if you will, family member. Would have never fathomed that would be how it would happen. Maybe I'm just the naive one in that sense, but I don't know. Again, grain of salt, open mind. But this person, they own to something. They own to something. Because a lot of this checked out. So if there is anybody who would like to offer a defense of this that would make sense, again, we're always open for every side of everything. And though I don't exactly plan to make a habit out of this by any means, I'm gonna go for a little metaphorical ego stroke. Purely metaphorical, of course. Trust me, you ain't inflating nobody's head over here just simply by reading Mr. Anonymous' last comment, which is, thanks, I'll be waiting. Keep up the good work. I like that you don't lie for content and you have your information right. Some people don't even know the difference between Prince Sr., Jazz Jr. Hoay. Well, first and foremost, let's be modest. We don't always have it exactly right. We're just as human as anybody else. So we thank those of you that have taken the time to correct us, because we do indeed see it when you do. But we highly appreciate every last one of you guys that tunes in religiously, because you guys make all the difference in the world. But as far as this topic goes, you already know that I've got to hear what you guys have to say about these latest developments. What else could be the motive other than payday at this point? Because it's not looking too good. You list yourself as a DJ with no income. You have a large sum of money and a trip planned to Mexico, quote unquote. Well, y'all play detective. I don't have to beat you over the head, do it. I just gave you what I got, so you guys give me what you got, and I'll be waiting with bated breath. We've been Dirt TV Celebrity Media. You guys have been great as always. Keep it locked here for the latest stories, the latest breaking news, and the latest updates, and we'll keep providing you guys with just that. But do me one small favor between now and next time. Be sure to be safe at all times, and we'll see you then. Peace.
Impossible, I did that the other day.
He said what?
The impossible, I did that the other day. That's what he said.
Yeah, the impossible.
Oh yeah, this
I
the
did
plan
the
for
other day.
PD.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it sound like that's
Clout
shit up
should
to
be
me.
real, bro. That's crazy.
Man.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's clout, bro.
That's too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? God, what the?
That's straight clout, Wack. You hit that on the head.
Nah, yeah, these youngsters, man. That's the new crack.
Yeah.
Clout is the new crack.
Clout and a follow.
Like this guy had that hate for this, and J. Prince Jr. brought them together. Like that's crazy. Nigga. That's like bringing a nigga into the lines then. Knowing what's for, oh no, boy, that's just sounded crazy in the view, and I heard this. Like, this is crazy.
And you telling me the nigga said some shit like he did that?
Yeah.
But I seen him went to jail. What was it? Some marijuana or something?
Just say marijuana and gun and
like
cocaine
30,
charges.
Yeah, like 30 balls on him. Like a couple months ago when they picked him up.
And see the cold part about it, bro. You know, Bankroll was stunting. And I be telling this like, I know y'all, bro, that with the money gotta play broke, bro, because they gonna tell. You gotta play broke. I'm sorry. You gotta just enjoy that another way. Just wake up and know that you got it. Because if you go to showing that, he's just gonna tell, bro. They gonna put them on you, bro.
Man, that's a fact.
Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you, bro, with Jay Prince, I'm gonna keep it 100. That daddy, I've been read a few things. I just seen some things, you know, he went through it. $1 million donation over here to the church and this, that. Dude tied into some whole other shit we ain't gonna never see and figure out. It's been too much went on around it and nothing never happened. Even with this, they slowly but surely sweeping that shit up under the rug, bro. We ain't gonna never figure it out, you know. So
You gotta be in there to know.
If he works with the police,
you ain't gonna figure it out, bro. I'm telling you, because let's be real, you know, bro. If it's a lot didn't happen, that it just goes away. Even his Rico.
if he work with the police,
Dodging bullet after
I'm
bullet.
saying, like, it ain't going.
that nigga saying, bro.
It ain't go. It like we can sit here and all we know is something ain't right.
I imagine this is not going to come as much of a surprise to anybody, but Offset has pushed back his solo album due to, of course, the recent tragedy that fell upon the Migos. So I wouldn't think that would come as a surprise once again, but yeah, I actually have seen a few people saying the contrary, that they feel like he should just have went on ahead and just let the album come on out, kind of ride the wave of being headline in the news and everything. Personally, I definitely disagree with that, but you guys gotta let me know your opinion. Is he right for pushing everything back, as I personally feel, or should he have, as some people think, go on ahead and roll with the punches, so to speak. Let me know what you guys make of it. This shouldn't have been recorded, and this damn sure shouldn't be circulating across social media for family, friends, and fans to see. As I write this, I'm angry about the lack of love and respect we have for one another as a race, which keeps bringing us back to the same tragic place of black on black killing. He went on to directly address speculation that his son had some involvement in Takeoff's death. Of course, he would have to address that, right? They say Satan is the author of confusion, and right now, there are a lot of lies and false narratives being spread by media whores. He said, I consider myself a man that's quick to listen and slow to speak. Therefore, to whomever is responsible for putting that bullet in my little nephew's head, let it be known that you can't hide behind me, beside me, or anywhere near me, because I don't tolerate dumb-ish. Regardless of who is responsible for the killing, Jay Prince said it all stemmed from a foolish situation. To quote, to the homies in Georgia and around the world that got love for Takeoff, like we do, know this. Let's change the narrative in our culture by putting an end to every argument or disagreement resulting in violence. He concluded with, it's okay to live and let live to see another day. Rest in peace, Takeoff. And of course, to end it out, to wrap up how the night ended, of course, after Takeoff was shot, police officers arrived at the location at 2:30 a.m. and Takeoff was pronounced dead. 2 more people were injured and were transported to the hospital in private vehicles, but the identities of the other 2 individuals, as of, well, the making of this video anyway, remain unknown. And you're pretty much up to speed if you happen to have fallen off somehow. But I would like to hear from you guys with the whole Jay Prince, Jr. or Senior or both, however you want to put it, but specifically, not just about them and their involvement, but them and their responses. I guess Senior more so than anything at this point, but give me your thoughts on their responses. Does it just seem as weird as it well, kind of is? Or is it just a bunch of people looking way too deep into it and they're not being nearly as much as it seems?
Yeah, you know they got that footage. They ain't even gonna
they
show
got
that
that.
shit.
Yeah, that's
CCTV.
That's what I'm saying.
They ain't gonna show none of that until the case over with.
And I'm gonna be real. I wouldn't be surprised. I thought about somebody asked this the other day. Sometimes when it's other ongoing things already going on, right? When they need other things to happen that's probably on the verge of happening, they'll leave everybody out there. And they watched Thug for 10 years investigation. They watched niggas commit crimes for 10 years, 2012 to 2022, before they came and served a warrant.
That's the feds. The state move quick, feds move slow.
Nah, my nigga, the state got
that's like the GI of Georgia. It's a state case. It's not even a state case. They just still hit them with the
all state. So sometimes, if they in the middle of investigation, they not finna snatch a motherfucker that they already got because they got what they got and disrupt whatever they've been trying to close out on. Because see, this shit was just spontaneous. And people was already been in place on some other shit. But the fact that they ain't saying nothing and served nothing tells me something. I believe they was already in the middle of investigation. And they just letting some shit play out. We're gonna wake up one day, it's gonna be 17 niggas indicted.
Black, was it really just over a dice game like they always saying? Or you more to it?
Well, they wasn't
shooting dice.
They wasn't shooting dice, so it looked like some words was being exchanged. So I don't, I really think somebody jumped the gun.
Yeah, I think that nigga did jump the gun.
Yeah, I think somebody jumped the gun. There was some whatever little scuffle, and one nigga thought it was just gonna be that, and I think that wasn't the wrong thing. Everybody ain't for everything. I don't take certain niggas to certain spots because them niggas, they work different. So
you should have been at the car.
That shit was crazy. That one thing, boy, destroyed a whole legacy.
You think that shit gonna come crumbling down?
Well, the group gone. You already had Offset.
No, I'm talking about the Houston boys.
I mean, what I'm paying attention to is it been real quiet from them people. So, like, I really think they've been on what they've been on, and they just closing out what the fuck they trying to close out. We gonna wake up. Yeah, because it's been way too quiet for that high profile case.
Yeah. So you think they're gonna just pop up with a bunch of indictments?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think they already been on some shit, and this just some shit that's popped up. So think about it. They already, they lining and they people in there, and this is happening, and this supposed to happen, and this shit just happened. And they know if they go snatch 1 or 2 or 3 based upon this shit that just happened, it's gonna stop the other things from happening. So they already got it. They know we got a motherfucker already. Let this shit happen, and I think then they gonna come do their.
Is pretty much saying everything that I've read here recently, and probably the majority of the consensus amongst the majority of people as far as J. Prince Jr. is concerned, which is of course not his direct involvement in what happened, or in most weird theory cases anyway, his direct involvement in what happened, as in, causing it directly. But in this particular case, not so much himself pulling the literal and metaphorical trigger, but him not actually putting a stop to the situation when it started to become a situation in the first place, which I do personally believe is a very good thing to speak to, because no matter which side you're on, I think most of us can agree with at least that. So her whole thing, of course, is pretty much saying that he's 100% guilty. They're coming for him. That's it for him. I don't think it's that black and white just quite yet, so I can't fully agree with that. But the next gentleman in this same clip, who expounds upon things, does so in a perfect manner as far as I'm concerned. And I say that because the way he puts things in terms of from a street perspective perfectly embodies exactly what she's essentially saying, but in a much more realistic way. So, not to say that J. Prince himself told this guy to commit the act that he did, but that J. Prince himself should have had better control of his people to be able to say, I know that you ain't gonna do anything without coming to me and asking for express permission before being stupid enough to do something, especially in my presence. Now, I'm not gonna lie, once again, that is a very, very good point. But again, this wasn't exactly a debate, so there weren't two differing ideas, so it's kind of a one-sided thing here as far as attacking J. Prince is concerned right now. So for any defenders of him, don't take this as any kind of we're pitting two people against each other to see what they have to say, and turns out that now they're both attacking him. No, it's not that kind of situation. It's just two people that already had a general agreement in the way they were approaching things. We're just kind of expounding on a couple of different ideals, if you will. But there you have it. So feel free to let us know down in the comment section whether you not so much agree or disagree, because I got a feeling I know how it'll go if I just leave it that open. But if you can kind of understand exactly what she was going for and what he kind of expounded on, let me know if you get where they're coming from.